In this video, I'll be reading a Pokemon conspiracy theory. This Pokemon conspiracy was posted to the Pokemon conspiracy subreddit by the user WaffleBastard. Generation 1 takes place in a post-apocalyptic Japan, ravaged by bioweapons and nuclear war. One of my favorite things about Generation 1 is that it seems to have a darker tone than the other games. You got dead Pokemon with actual ghosts. Mewtwo is a fucking genetically engineered monstrosity. Organized crime runs rapid, you come from a fatherless household, power plants lay abandoned, and people frequently comment on how their Pokemon suck. It must have taken place in the early 1990s or the late 1980s because it has a PC, a model of the Space Shuttle Columbia, and mentions that the moon landing was in July of 1969. You've also got Lieutenant Surge, who is explicitly said to be an American who fought in the war using Pokemon as weapons. However, he doesn't appear old enough to be a World War II veteran. Therefore, Pokemon take place in an alternate timeline where during World War II, Unit 731, the Japanese Bioweapons Research Unit, known for unspeakable medical atrocities, released a pathogen into Japan at the end of the war. Choosing to commit national suicide rather than surrender, the Americans responded by nuking major cities that contained the pathogen. But the combination of radioactive fallout and an unchecked mutagenic agent resulted in a mass die-off of the Japanese population and a sudden explosion of mutant organisms. These powerful mutants quickly outcompeted existing animals and insect species, driving them to near complete extinction and causing a localized ecological collapse. The occupying American forces withdrew from the major Japan's islands and enforced a naval blockade which lasted well into the 1960s, at which point vaccines were developed and the remaining population had developed a natural immunity. The survivors had built an isolated reconstructionist economy relying on these strange new creatures to replace their basic infrastructure and diets. Local government was sparse or non-existent. Roads were overgrown and could only be passed on foot or by bicycle, and unemployment was widespread. American occupation gradually resumed, and their forces brought against isolated pockets of Japanese resistance in short secondary war, but quickly reestablished control. With the intention of stabilizing the nation and restoring democracy, the Americans actually just intended to research the mutants and use their exotic powers in some top secret weapons program during the Cold War. American civilian scientists such as Bill, Professor Oak, and Sylph Co. are brought in under contract to research Pokemon for the American military. This results in the creation of Pokemon such as Mewtwo and Ditto. The Americans maintain a definite military presence, such as the base in the port of city of Vermilion. In the 1990s, the population began to recover, and with the collapse of the Soviet Union, American forces gradually began to withdraw.